Namaste, hello, and welcome back to another video on eco-consciousness. My name is Awhona, and today's video is going to be about two books which I recently read for one of my reading projects on eco-consciousness called Deep Forest Drums, as well as for an upcoming readathon which is taking place on another channel, of course, but it has been created and hosted by Macy from The Bright Side Girl. I'll leave a link to both these videos in the description box below, as well as in the overhead cards above for all of you to cross-check. So do please join me further in this video. So now let's come around to the two books which I read, and these were two parts of the Luminaries Trilogy by Susan Dennard. And the first part is called The Luminaries, and I absolutely love the cover of this book. Now, this is a story about a very ancient order of hunters called the Luminaries. The job of the Luminaries is to guard 14 sleeping spirits who are placed all around the world, and these sleeping spirits dream about nightmares. Or nightmares are creatures like werewolves or vampires or banshees, anything which can harm. And these sleeping spirits usually have a forest growing around them, and this forest is where these nightmares are actually harbored, and in order to ensure that they are limited to the forests and they do not come out of these forests and these areas and enter into the human domain, these hunter clans called the Luminaries guard these forests, and they have an entirely separate world of their own. And our main protagonist, or our story starts with our main protagonist Winnie, who is from one of these hunter clans, but she has been outcasted. I mean, her family has been outcasted, and that's because it was suspected that her father was from the enemy clan. Now, the enemy clan of the Luminaries are the Dianas, who are witches, and their job is to extract the power from these nightmare creatures which are dreamt by the sleeping spirit, and use them in their spells as well as curses and hexes so that they can dominate the world. And that is exactly another function of the Luminaries, to not allow any of the Dianas to get near the forest or draw power from these creatures. So they have to immediately kill these nightmares and also ensure that the body is disposed of. Otherwise, this forest has a self-healing nature where it revives any dead bodies which is left over in the morning, and this becomes another terrible creature with a mutation. So this is what happens within this world, and we follow Winnie, who has been outcasted because of her father's despicable discovery that he is from the enemy clan, and she is not trained as a hunter. She has to live in the periphery of the society, and her mother has a very hard time because from being the lead hunter, she was demoted to just an ordinary woman who had to help out in a restaurant. Her brother also lost his opportunities to join the Luminary Council, and he has to just work in a menial position, and the family actually has a very tough time. Now, Winnie is coming of age, wherein she can actually take the trial for being a hunter, and which is the age of 16, and she's free to do that. So she decides that without any training, without any prior knowledge, she will go into the forest and she will hunt a nightmare, and she will prove to everyone that she is a hunter and she does not belong to the enemy clan. And to do this, she has to summon all her courage, and all she has been doing all her life is trying to memorize the entire compendium of nightmares, which is a collection or a generational collection of all the nightmares which have been killed by the hunter so far. And she tries to memorize it so that she has a backup knowledge, but because she lacks skills, she lacks gear or equipment to hunt, during her first trial, wherein she's absolutely all alone in the forest. There are very strange things which happens, and she faces the nightmares actually on her own. And then there was a strange creature which she encounters, and this creature distorts everything about her. And somehow her her first hunting trial does end up successfully, and people do cheer for her, and they believe that yes, this girl is a hunter, and she's not one of the Dianas. But then there is she tries her very best to alert the Council of Hunters, as well as all the people around her, that there is a creature which she has encountered, which is far much superior than all the creatures entered into the compendium. But nobody really wants to believe, because they think that she's just an untrained hunter, so she probably has got nervous and her mind is playing tricks on her. So they all try to silence her, yet encourage her, and but Winnie has to go through the second and the third trial, and to qualify as a hunter, so that her family can go back to the hunting clan, because any one member of the family, if is a hunter, then they become, or they are accepted within the hunter community, and Winnie has that responsibility to get her entire family back and regain their position as hunters within the Luminaries. And that's the pride and prestige, and she has to work very hard. And the only person who can actually help her is her ex-best friend called Jay Friday, and he unfortunately has secrets of his own. So although he helps her to train, but then there are secrets which she cannot decipher, which come up, and that makes the story very exciting. So that is the first part of the story. Now, the Hunting Moon is the next part of this series, and this is absolutely intense. It is action-packed, and the best thing that I loved about this book is it puts the entire forest as a single ecological unit. So you don't only have our protagonists trying to hunt and save themselves, but you could also find empathy, which is developed for the beings. Although they are nightmares, but there are beings. Every nightmare cannot be killed, and that empathy is being developed within the protagonists, and I absolutely loved that part. So we see that Winnie, our main protagonist, who was desperate to become a hunter, is now accepted within the hunting community. Her entire family is back in the hunting clan, but then Winnie stumbles across a very weird clue which had been left by her father. So there are these birthday cards which her mother never shared, and she never turned to the council as well, because she's ideally supposed to turn back any letter which is approaching from a traitor or who has ruined her family, to the Council of Hunters. But unfortunately, these birthday cards, which are present in an old shoebox in an attic, has never reached her elder brother Darian or herself. And somehow, while rummaging inside the attic, Winnie discovers this, and she discovers that there is a clue which is left by her father, and she tries to find out what the clue is and where it leads. And then in putting together these clues, she finds that her father is innocent. Now Winnie has to prove that her father is innocent, and accidentally, when she tries to reach the spot where her father, supposedly her father's clue, wants her to find something at the spot within the forest, she is somehow interrogated by Jay Friday, who was actually who was on duty on that particular day at that same time, and he interrogates her, and he wants to know what exactly she's doing, because there is a particular object which Winnie finds, and he says that this is supposed to be a work of the enemy clan, who are the Dianas, and Winnie tries to explain Jay the entire story as to how her father has left a clue that he was probably framed for being a Diana, but he's innocent, and Jay Friday has secrets of his own, and he understands that there are witches who are, or the enemies who are walking amongst the hunters or the luminaries, and they have to be found, they have to be captured, they have to be interrogated, because there will be problems which would arise. So amidst all this, there are secrets of J which also come up in the forefront, which is not only a shock to those who discover it, but it is also something which they have to learn to accept, and whether they accept it or not is what the story is all about. So this was equally exciting. In fact, it was more intense than the Luminaries, and I absolutely loved it. It was a 4-star read for me. I have left my thoughts and opinions on both these books in my GoodReads review, and I'll leave a link to both of them in the description box below should you be interested in them. The third part, which is called The Whispering Night, is due to be released on the 19th of November 2024, and I'm definitely going to pre-order it as soon as I have an opportunity to do. So those were the 2 books which I read, and I hoped you liked the story and you would like to read both of them. And with that, I'll be wrapping up this video. I'll be back next week with another video. So till then, take care, have a good reading week ahead, and namaste.